Malave. Here. Trustee Senior.
Here.
Mayor Thompson.
Here.
Trustee Shelby.
Here.
Trustee Armour.
Here.
Trustee Miller is absent. Madam President, we do have a quorum. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance. I will now read the Pledge of Civility. In the interest of civility, I pledge to promote civility by listening, being respectful of others, acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community, and understanding that we each may have different ideas for achieving that objective. Now, can we please have a moment of silence? Thank you. Item 2 is public comment. We have none. Madam President, did you receive anything?
No.
Okay, thank you. Item 3, presentation, we have none. I'll read communications for item 4. First, parenting on purpose. Raise the score in 2024. Register for our 6-week parenting discussion group. This happens Wednesday evening, starting May 15th, going through June 19th, 2024, from 6:30 p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. For more information, contact Deborah Williams Thurman at 773-417-8848. Next, the Broadview Fire Department is hosting first aid and CPR training. This is going to happen Saturday, May 8th, from 9 a.m. to noon, right here at Village Hall Chambers, 2350 South 25th Avenue. RSVP by contacting Administrative Ms. Penna, 708-343-6124. Seating is limited to 30 seats. First come, first serve. Next, celebrating her, women empowerment. Gathering our first Saturday, June 2024 from 10 a.m. to noon. This will be held over at the Roosevelt Middle School. This is a free event located at 2500 Oak Street in Bellwood. Sponsored by Mayor Thompson, Shakista Williams, Pastor Cynthia Eubanks, and Wanda Wade. The keynote speaker for this will be Senator Majority Leader Kimberly Lightford, and you'll have Sisterhood Saturday host Pastor Annette Barker and community advocate Connie Wade-Riles. Next, Proviso Township Educational and Economic Development Tour in Ghana. This is going to happen from November 17th through November 25th, 8 days, 7 nights this year, 2024. This information will be hosted by Mayor Katrina Thompson right here in Broadview and Trustee Miguel Jones from Maywood. This is going to, let's see. Mayor Thompson, is this going to be a Zoom call or a Zoom meeting?
I don't have the flyer in front of me, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, I don't see the information, but keynectglobal.com for more information. I have the flyer. I can give you more information if you call about it. Next, 2024 Proviso East Battle of the Bands. Proviso East, Morgan Park, Thornton, and Cottage Grove Upper Grade Center. This happens next Saturday, May 11th from 1 p.m. Over at Proviso East High School, located at 807 South 1st Avenue in Maywood. And that concludes our communications for this evening. Next is item 5, consideration to approve the following minutes. Minutes from the March 18th, 2024 regular board meeting. This was tabled from the last meeting.
Motion to approve. Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Abraham. Madam President.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments? No, none. Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
No questions.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Abstain. I wasn't here.
And Trustee Miller is absent. Madam President, this carries 4-0 with 1 abstention. Thank you all. Next, items, minutes from the April 15, 2024 regular board meeting. And before we make a motion and second, I want to say that I did receive corrections on these minutes, and they are as follows. The first correction was the motion to allow trustee Chalmalabi to participate electronically. That motion was actually made by trustee Senior, and it was seconded by trustee Armour. Secondly, trustee Armour was absent. She was marked, she was present, marked absent, and she voted yes on this. So that was corrected. And also trustee Shelby was not present. She was absent. So those corrections have been made. And at this time, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Shelby, seconded by trustee Chalmalabi. Madam President.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments? No. Trustee Senior? No questions. Trustee Chalmalabi? No questions. Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
I have a question regarding the correction to the April 15 minutes.
Can you please speak into your mic? I can barely hear you.
Turn your mic on, trustee.
Regarding those corrections that you just went through for the April 15th minutes, I sent you some updates for it. You only went through part of the updates, and Mayor, that was what I was talking about. Madam.
Madam President, would you care for me to comment on that?
I haven't had a chance at all today to review any emails, correspondence from anybody, so I have no idea of what's being asked. Are you aware of the changes that the trustee is speaking of, Mr. Clerk?
Yes, I am, Madam President.
Okay, are the minutes reflected correct in what was in the conversation?
Yes, they are, Madam President.
Is it the conversation that we had on, what is it, April 15th, is in the recorded documentation as well?
Affirmative.
Okay, so trustee Armour, I don't know what the concerns are because I haven't had an opportunity to review any emails today, but I'm willing to ask the board to table these minutes so that I have an opportunity to review your comments.
Okay, I agree.
So we need a superseding motion to table these minutes.
I make a superseding motion that we table these minutes until our next meeting so that the mayor will have an opportunity to respond.
Okay, it's been properly motioned to make a superseding motion by trustee Armour and seconded by trustee Chalmalabi to table these minutes until the next board meeting. I'll have a roll call for that. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalabi.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Yes.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And these minutes will be tabled to the very next board meeting. And please let the record reflect that at 7:37 p.m., trustee Miller did arrive to the meeting. All right, next is the minutes, approval for the minutes from the April 25th, 2024 special board meeting.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Senior, seconded by trustee Shelby. Madam President.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
No, none.
Trustee Senior? No. Trustee Chalmalabi? Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
I don't have any questions, but I just got these when I came in tonight, and I haven't had a chance to review them.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Miller?
No.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalabi. Yes. Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Abstain.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
Thank you all. Madam President, this passes 5-0 with one abstention. All right. Next is item 6, consideration to approve expenditures. Grand total of all funds, $1,217,606.96 for the period ending May 1st, 2024.
Motion to approve. Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Senior, seconded by trustee Abraham. Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Trustee Shelby, the finance chairwoman, will you please read the warrant list from 5/1/2024?
Yes, Mayor. The vendors are AT&T in the amount of $23,579.96. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, $138,504.68. Broadview Westchester Joint Water Agency, $408,712.98. Chicagoland Paving Contractors Incorporated, $71,012.17. ComEd in the amount of $6,778.77. Comcast Business, $4,542.49. David Olmsby Incorporated, $3,000. Fox Valley Fire and Safety, $3,319.60. Geno's Heating and Plumbing Incorporated, in the amount of $57,587.35. Illinois Counties Risk Management Trust, $364,275. Image Trend, $4,182.50. iWork Systems Incorporated, $3,500. Lincoln National Life Insurance, in the amount of $6,355.07. Mercury Systems Incorporated, $13,595.77. Norcom Public Safety Communication Incorporated, $6,411. Pace Systems Incorporated, in the amount of $3,360. Village of Romeoville Fire Academy, $2,745. Valor Systems Incorporated, in the amount of $33,100. And West Cook County Solid Waste Agency, in the amount of $12,881.22. The total of expenditures over $2,500 came to $1,167,443.56, which is 96% of our total expenditures, in the amount of $1,217,606.96. We had a manual payment. The vendor was Ziegler Ford North Riverside. The date was April the 16th, 2024. Check number 86159, in the amount of $56,083.03. We also had an electronic payment, and the vendor was Chase Credit Card. This payment was reflected as of March the 25th, 2024, in the amount of $7,444.15. The following accounts were affected by these expenditures. We have the general fund account in the amount of $659,214.15. The garbage fund in the amount of $12,881.22. The motor fuel tax fund in the amount of $6,574.09. And we have the capital projects fund in the amount of $71,012.17. And then the water and sewage fund in the amount of $467,925.33, again for a grand total of $1,217,606.96. And Madam President, that concludes my report.
We need a motion and a second to approve.
Yes, we did. It was motioned by trustee Senior, seconded by trustee Abraham.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments about the finance report? Trustee Senior? No questions. Trustee Chalmalave? No questions. Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
Two questions. The AT&T bill, ooh, that's like really bigger than usual, and I see the detail behind it. But what's the $21,495? That's like really high from previous bills. And
Chief
then
Mills,
the
you want to
sec-
tell us about that?
And then the second question is on page, I don't know what page this is. Hold on. On page 6, the Sherrod and Associates, Vince Sherrod and Associates, the 2,200, is that an advance payment? Those are my two questions.
Good evening, Mayor, trustees, Trustee
Good evening.
Armour. So I can address a question. So for the AT&T bill, so for many years prior to my arrival, there was a contract that was entered with AT&T to provide phone service for the Broadview PD as well as Ike 911 in the village. As of last year, and we had the attorney to help try to intervene, the contract expired and we also went digital. So because the contract expired, they had the authority to just do whatever they want and charge us these astronomical rates. So we have been working, and we're probably 85% complete to switch over to Comcast. We've had, you know, in these the phone system being connected to our Ike 911 and all of our residents, everything, you know, it wasn't like we could just flip a switch. So we had to have Mercury come in, we had to have AT&T come in, as well as Comcast come in and make this big transition with all types of engineers. I know Director Ames and everyone else, kind of all the departments had to play a part. But to answer your question, it was, I guess we were locked into this contract for X amount of years, and then it just expired. And what they did, they like almost 10 times the rate. And at that same time, we went away from the old system, the net system, and we went to the digital system. So that's how the prices went up. But we're probably 85 to 90% complete with doing the transition over to Comcast, which they also gave us a credit maybe 6 months ago for about $28,000. Attorney Nelson Jaworski helped intervene because we had a lot of conversations because we didn't understand as well how these prices were going. And they gave us a credit, and they gave us another credit for about 13. But again, like I said, these prices are, but like I said, once we switch over to Comcast, we should see that to go down tremendously.
So the Ike 911, we are in collaboration or partnership with the Village of Maywood as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, so was Maywood included in the meetings when we was negotiating with AT&T regarding these rates, because they would pay half of this, or is this our whole
No, this is
portion?
strictly Broadview, ma'am.
This is
The Broadview
Broadview's
lines for whenever
portion?
our residents dial 911, it strictly comes from the Broadview side, not Maywood. So really, it's connected to the Ike, but not the billing part.
Okay, and
Yes, ma'am.
we have a system in there that separates the call from Maywood?
Yes.
From Broadview's?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right, thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Chief Mills. And so as it relates to the Vin Sherrod Associates, Trustee Armour, the bill's been available for review so that you can see the supporting documentation. So this bill was a bill that we had not made good on. And so we're just making good on the photography work that Vin Sherrod has been doing for the Village of Broadview for several years. So this is us paying the bill. But the supporting documentation is attached with the invoices in the payables.
Okay, so you said that these services for what month?
I don't
You
have
said
it.
making good on.
I don't
what does
have it
that
in
mean?
front of me. I don't have it in front of me. The invoices with the supporting documentation, and you chose not to come review the documentations that you questioning. I'm just sharing with you that I know this is an invoice that had not been paid, but
Well,
it's from June 2023. So if you
That's
want the
June.
exact date, you should go
It's
pull
last
it.
year's June?
June
Thank you.
2023.
Photos.
You should go pull the invoice so that you can have the supporting documentation for transparency.
I didn't have time to do that, Mayor.
I understand. You have any other questions or comments?
Those were my two questions.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Miller?
No question.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
We sure can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham,
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave,
Yes.
Trustee Senior,
Yes.
Trustee Shelby,
Yes.
Trustee Armour,
Yes,
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
Madam President, this carries 6-0. Thank you all. Next, item 7, application for the authority to expend funds. We have none. Item 8, committee reports given at each first meeting of the month, starting with the Business License Committee. Trustee Armour.
no report.
Thank you. Next, Police and Fire. Trustee Miller.
No report.
Thank you. Next, Finance Committee. Trustee Shelby.
And no report.
Thank you. Building and Public Property. Trustee Chamalave. Thank you. Water, Drainage, and Health. Trustee Senior.
No report at this time.
Thank you. Street, Sidewalks, and Alleys, Trustee Abraham. No report. Thank you, trustees. Next, item 9, old business, we have none. Moving on to item 10, new business. Item A resolution accepting and approving a certain grant agreement with the state of Illinois related to purchasing certain small firefighting and ambulance equipment for the Village of Broadview, state of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I need to have the motion read. Who was the motion?
I was.
Thank you. And the second? Thank Thank you. It's been properly motioned by trustee Shelby, seconded by trustee Chamalave, Madam President.
Thank you. Chief Bryan, you want to tell us about this equipment?
Good evening, Mayor,
Good evening.
Good evening.
residents, and guests. This grant was issued by the state fire marshal. We actually spoke on this purchase last month. It's for the value of $26,000. It's to purchase the Lucas CPR device, which is it provides effective and consistent automated chest compressions that makes CPR uninterrupted. And the value is $26,000, but the unit that we're purchasing costs $24,206. And entertain any questions you may have.
Thank you, Chief Bryan. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
No questions.
Thank you, Trustee Senior.
No questions.
Trustee Chamalave.
No question.
Trustee Shelby.
No questions.
Trustee Armour.
And this is part of your fiscal year 25 budget.
Yes, ma'am.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Miller.
No questions.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham,
Yes.
trustee Chamalave,
Yes.
trustee Senior,
Yes.
trustee Shelby,
Yes.
trustee Armour,
Yes.
trustee Miller.
Yes.
Thank you all. This carries 6-0. Next item B, a resolution authorizing and approving a proposal with MuniWeb for certain website design and development services for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve. Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Senior, seconded by trustee Abraham. Madam President.
Thank you. So before you is for us to upgrade our website. Our website has been in existence for the last 6 or 7 years, and it's very cluttered, and it's not user-friendly, not to the end user and not to us as well. So we started searching out. We looked at 3 different companies. This was the one with the best fit for the Village of Broadview. Excuse me, the amount of this contract, a one-time fee is $13,550. To service us is $300 per month. They will come out and do the training for those that need to have access to it, like the clerk's office, the administration side as well. And so this is the upgrade to our website, and this is what's included in our annual budget. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
No questions.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Chamalave?
Just looking forward to the report.
Excuse me. Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee
I
Armour?
don't have any questions.
Trustee Miller?
Will there be a change in the actual website address, or will it stay the same and uninterrupted?
No, the website will stay the same with the www.broadview-il.gov.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham,
Yes.
trustee Chamalave,
Yes.
trustee Senior,
Yes.
trustee Shelby,
Yes.
trustee Armour,
Yes.
trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 6-0. Thank you all. Next item
Thank
C, a resolution authorizing execution of an agreement with the State of Illinois Bureau of Strategic Sourcing and Procurement for the purchase of bulk road salt for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Abraham, seconded by trustee Senior. Madam President.
Thank you. Director Ames, you want to tell us about this procurement purchase?
Yeah, so, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Every year, we are part of the CMS contract purchasing for road salt. And an ordinance, or should I say, a notarized, executed copy from the clerk is included with that procedure, so.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
No, none.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Chamalave? Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
Question.
You said you had no
You're-
questions?
So we're changing who we're buying our salt from now? From,
No, the state, on an annual basis, they go out for bulk pricing. So they put Sourcewell bids together, put them out, and I think there's only 3 salt suppliers in the whole northern North America. That being said, what they do is they procure the lowest salt purchase in all of the communities that are within the state of Illinois. They're allowed to bid on an allocation. So for us, we typically take anywhere from 800 tons to 1,000 tons annually. So we never know which company is going to be selected. That process is done with the state of Illinois with their CMS purchasing agreement.
okay, and we're just renewing,
For the most part,
And-
it's an annual renewal.
and it's
So
intergovernmental?
that's right.
Okay, I got it. Thank
Exactly.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Trustee Miller.
I hate to have conversations about salt, and it's about to be spring, well, about to be summer, and we're in spring, but I guess here we are. No questions, though.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Yes.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And it's carried 6-0. Thank you all. Next is item D, a resolution of the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois, supporting a Class 6B real estate tax assessment application by Brothers Leo LLC for an industrial facility located at 2830 South 18th Avenue.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Abraham. Madam President.
Thank you. Commissioner Upshaw, you want to tell us about this 6B?
Yes, good evening, Mayor, good evening, Board, and everyone in attendance.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Brothers Lil purchased the property in the summer of 2023, and currently they are in the process of our going through our Title 13 process, and they have requested a 6B. They have, I think, 3 facilities, and they are consolidating all of those facilities into one, into this location, which is known as 2830 South 18th Avenue. This 6B tax incentive will allow them substantial savings, but will also allow them to invest in the rehabilitation of the building, which has been abandoned for some years. At this time, I entertain any questions, Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
No questions.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave? Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
What item is this we're on the agenda? Is it, it's item D, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this tax assessment, the Class B real estate tax, that concerns me in a way, but it's probably because I don't understand what the Class B tax assessment is, what that rule is. And is this a merchant saying that they're in trouble financially and, you know, they want to do the Class B real estate tax assessment because they need some help? Or what is this saying?
So the first thing, it's a 6B and not Class B. Secondly, 6B classification is designed to encourage industrial development throughout the community. It could be for an abandoned property, it could be for new construction, or it could be for the rehabilitation of a property. When you're dealing with industrial properties, they are taxed at 25%. If the board decides to grant the 6B, it would be taxed at a lesser amount for up to 12 years.
What percent will, if this goes through tonight?
It would start off, I think, like 10%, and then would go up to 20%.
Okay, and so who's going to absorb the other 15% of what this merchant saying that they're not going to pay?
15% of what?
Of the of the tax that's going to be imposed on the business. They're trying to get some tax relief, right? And so are we. I'm concerned about the impact that's going to be on, residents, businesses, and the village as a whole. Who's going to absorb what they don't want to pay? Who's going to absorb that?
I'd like to defer to council, please.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Upshaw, or Director Upshaw. So generally, these Class 6B incentives and other types of incentives that are offered through Cook County, the reason for them is because otherwise that property is sitting there vacant. So you're going from collecting almost nothing on the tax rolls to at least collecting something, and then they incrementally get up to the point where they're paying the full 25%. So, for instance, if you've got a property that's being taxed at a vacant property, that's being taxed at a much lower level, and it's definitely nowhere near the 10% that would be in the first few years of, or in the first 10 years of the 6B. And then it goes up to 15% in the 11th year and 12% in the 20th year, and then, in the 12th year, and then after the 12th year, it expires. They can't apply for a renewal at that time, and then it's up to the board whether the board wants to sign off on it and give its consent. So the board's role in this today is to just basically do a resolution to say we're not objecting to this. And the county generally will not award an incentive without the underlying municipality's support, but they could. But that said, you're going from essentially collecting almost nothing or a very, very low amount on a vacant property to now collecting on an occupied property, which is a much higher tax rate.
Okay, thank you for that.
I want to add to that, Trustee Armour. So as we look at economic development, and you have different incentive programs that we have access to that property owners could take advantage of. We have the 6Bs, we have 7Cs, we have TIF, we have the West Enterprise zone, so that
Economic
we
zone.
can help small business owners be able to be productive and continue to thrive in the Village of Broadview. So if we have nothing to offer, then our industrial partners will remain vacant properties, which is not good for our tax base, which they pay the most property taxes as it relates to property taxes. They pay into the school systems, the park district, the library, all taxing partners that we have that govern us as it relates to taxes. And so we have to be in position to support businesses in Broadview with the incentive programs that we have. How we hold people accountable. We hold them accountable, so sometimes what happens in this process, and I don't know if you pay attention to what's taking place as it relates to the Board of Review and all of those entities where they go and they hire attorneys to reduce their taxes and apply for certain consideration. With a 6B, this allows us to, if they decide that they want to go and ask for consideration to get their taxes exempt, this will void this arrangement that we have with them because that's considered as double dipping. And we cannot allow that to happen through how the process works, but we have to be able to manage it. And so we do manage the 6Bs that we do have. Typically, we don't give renewals on certain properties depending on the industry that the corporation is in. But a 6B is a tool that we have access to from the county perspective so that we can maintain our village as it relates to small businesses and how we operate and function.
Okay.
So it's just another tool that's accessed for businesses to take
Another incentive program. Uh-huh. Okay, what kind of service or products does this LLC provide?
I don't know
Furniture.
if they applied for a business license yet, have they?
They have not.
Okay.
Mayor, they're still in the process of the Title 13,
Okay.
correcting the violations and also doing some new work.
So we don't have that information right now because they have not actually applied for a business license. So this is the first step because outside of this board taking action tonight, it has to go to the county board for final approval.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
That's it for me.
Thank you. Trustee Mellon?
So Trustee Armour kind of tapped on the question I was going to ask. So we don't know what type of business this is?
Well, no,
Or
it
what
is,
services?
as the mayor stated, they haven't come before the village board. It is a furniture company
Oh,
that is
okay, so it's
relocating to the Village of Broadview, but that hasn't been presented to the board.
Yeah, I understand they don't have a legitimate business license or application in, but before we just kind of approve a 6B, I think we should know what the intent is for that business to have whatever operation, so.
Any business or potential development that comes before the board, it has been vetted by the safety committee as well as the mayor, possibly legal counsel, and some trustees that we've had conversations as it relates to the prospective development or renovation coming to the Village of Broadview.
Great, so it's furniture.
Yes.
Thank you. That was it.
Thank you, Trustee Miller. Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave?
Yes.
Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Armour?
Yes.
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
And Madam President, this carries 6-0. Thank you all. Next item. E, an ordinance of the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois, granting a variance related to the height of wall signage at the property commonly known as 1817 Beach Street. It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Abraham. Madam President, open for discussion.
Thank you. Commissioner Upshaw, you want to tell us about this zoning board public hearing?
Yes, we had a public hearing, the Village of Broadview, I'm sorry, had a public hearing on April 9th, 2024, in which we addressed the application from the applicant, which is the architectural metal workers, and based on the information in the application that they submitted, the variance was for their new training facility, which is located at 1817 Beach Street. I don't know if anybody has had the opportunity to drive by there or even take a look, but it is beautiful. It is a futuristic, modern building, and to make a long story short, the zoning board approved that the signage be increased to support the project or the development. We also have representatives here from Local 63 as well.
Thank you, Commissioner Upshaw. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
No, none.
Trustee Senior? Trustee Chamalave? Trustee Shelby?
No questions. A
Trustee-
beautiful building.
Thank you. Trustee Armour?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
I was wondering when this was going to come before the board, because I knew that this was kind of different than what we would typically have. So I saw the IW 63 sign, and it was like the first thing I saw, literally when I turned off the, I guess, the expressway exit ramp. And I was like, dang, I wonder if we missed that. So I'm glad to see that this actually came up. That building does look great, and I think, I don't know who chose the color pop, but the black with, okay. It popped and it literally woke me up. I was like, oh, when did that get there? So I'm glad now that I can see that I didn't miss the discussion on this, which we really didn't have one. So thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave? Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Armour?
Yes.
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
This carries 6-0. Thank you all.
Thank you, board.
Next item, F, an ordinance designating the 2500 block of Lexington Avenue as honorary Ironworkers Way and authorizing the installation of honorary street name designation signs for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Abraham. Madam President?
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. So as we look at how we look at development and how we support, the Iron Workers Local 63 has been in the village almost 50 years. 75. Almost 50 years. So I just think that, you know, when you have business stakeholders that make great investments in a community and been here and been steadfast along the way, even through the lows of the Village of Broadview, they stay consistent. They support our young people, getting them into the trades. They offer many opportunities to the young people. We've had several conversations on how we recruit and how we get them into the trades. And when we talk about young people and giving them opportunities, these are jobs that they don't have to inherit college debt. They good paying jobs. A lot of them are over 6 figures with health benefits, retirement plans, and all of the bells and whistles that come with it. But it's hard labor. And so we just want to just recognize and honor our stakeholders in the Village of Broadview who support our young people, but who support the residents that live and work here every day, and Local 63 has done that. When you look at the glass house, I remember when we was over there doing the groundbreaking ceremony, we just couldn't see the vision. But when you drive on 290 and you see this big 63, that's making a bold statement. So I present to the Board of Trustees to approve this honorary street name on the 2500 block of Lexington Avenue, naming it the Iron Workers Way, because they are leading the way. They are taking the charge, and they showing us what we need to do to be impactful, not only just to young people, but how we nurture and how we provide to our community each and every day. So this is our way of saying thank you to the Iron Workers Local 63 in the Village of Broadview. The place is just amazing. The space is amazing. And so, Trustee Abraham, have any questions or comments?
No questions, no comments, but thank you for staying the course with us. And
I plan on being here for another 100 years, so we're all good.
God bless you. Trustee Senior?
I'm just looking at the spectrum of you guys' faces. I mean, y'all like this. That's beautiful. I love it. Yep, thank you for the beautiful architect design that you made pop on that corner with that black glassy building. It's beautiful.
That's sexy, ain't it?
It's gorgeous. Trustee Child Malave?
No, I just really love the building. I accept everything on purpose just to take.
Trustee Shelby?
I'm so proud of you guys. Congratulations. And it is a beautiful building.
Yes. Trustee Armour?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
Any costs associated with the name change for the street?
No, we just had to order the signs.
Yeah, it's really just the cost of ordering the signs, which generally is a fairly nominal cost, usually $200 to $300 at the most, I think.
And then installation is done by our own public
Yes.
works department? Okay,
Correct.
thanks.
Thank you.
Probably is. I feel like they should be able to put that up. Okay, thank you, that was it.
So, Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave?
Yes.
Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Armour?
Yes.
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
And it's carried 6-0. Thank you all.
Thank you. Before we move on, Mr. Clerk, I just want to say, this is the sign? Let's see. And this will be revealed on June 22nd?
June 22nd, everybody's invited.
So when we get the details from Iron Workers on the festivities that's going to take place around this revealing of this,
Unfortunately, we like to have a lot of food trucks and a lot of other things that are.
oh, you got to talk to Dave about that, okay? Now, you pressing. So can we get, because this is very rare that we have all of our board members here at the exact same time at a board meeting, so can we get a photo with you all with the Iron Workers one?
Can we do it after the meeting is adjourned? It's like if you already had a sign, then y'all know how much it costs.
What's up?
and I called you, and I called.
So I just had one anecdote for what we worked on a few years ago. The mayor was with her team working on an initiative to go solar, and on the roof, which you cannot see because it was done professionally with iron workers, solar panels are on the roof. So part of the corridor, what was it called? The corridor down Roosevelt?
Roosevelt Corridor.
Yeah, the Roosevelt corridor with the solar panel initiative that the mayor brought to our facility.
Nice. I love it. Thank you. All right, Mr. Clerk, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next is item 11, Village Clerk's Report. I have two small things, well, two short things. Our Juneteenth committee has been meeting diligently and planning our big celebration this year, which is going to be June 14th, 15th, and 16th. We are happy to announce that we have our headliners and opening acts locked in. An announcement for whom those will be coming very shortly, and I'm very excited about who we've got on the schedule and some of the other activities that are going to be taking place. This is the first year that we are going to extend our Friday, which is going to be Kids Day, and it's a family night, it's a meet and greet, and it's going to be a lot of fun. You don't want to miss that opening night. Looking forward to our next meeting for some more updates that I'm sure the mayor will join in telling us on the next board meeting. This past weekend, I was happy to attend the grand opening of our new Broadview hardware store located over on 18th and Roosevelt. Now, this store has been in existence under True Value forever, but it took over new management last year, and you have really got to visit this store. This is a night and day difference on how they have it organized, the amount of material that they have. I don't ever have to go anywhere outside of Broadview for my hardware needs. I mean, I was just amazed at how clean it was, all of the equipment that they had, and the beautiful organization that Broadview Hardware Store has. So make a trip over there, and remember to shop Broadview and keep your tax dollars in the community. Madam President, that concludes my report. Next is item 12, Village President Report, Mayor Katrina Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk, and good evening, everyone. Before I go, I want to say Mr. Hills, who's here tonight, won the gas grill. So congratulations. I heard from Darian that you was very excited about it. You had to go pick it up today. No, congratulations, Mr. Hill. Well deserved. I can't wait till you have a backyard party so I can come check it out. So last week, I participated in the Strong City Network's Global Crises Local Impacts Roundtable designed for mayors and other local government representatives in New York City. I had the privilege of representing Broadview on a panel focused on strategic communications and crisis response in the role of mayors and elected officials. Our discussion revolved around critical communication responsibilities in addressing hate and extremist-motivated incidents, as well as escalating polarized in our cities, often heightened by global crisis. We placed particular emphasis on the post-October 7th environment. This was the first time that we've been invited to be a part of a conversation at this magnitude. The conference or the roundtable was taking place at Columbia University, but we got displaced because they had shut down the university because of the protests. So I don't know if you all are paying attention of what's going on, but we need to pay attention because it can happen in our city. And hearing other mayors from across the nation with some of the things that's taking place in their communities, it was a real eye-opener for me. And as we go along with these conversations, this is a dialogue that we will be having with Chief Mills and his team on how we could be proactive and keep us safe. We are gearing up for our first board retreat scheduled for the end of May. So I don't know if all of the trustees have made their request to Lily, but we need that so that we can secure confirmation at the hotel. Our main objective is to dive into our comprehensive plan, aiming to deliver the finest outcomes for Broadview in the years ahead. We've already made headway on the environmental sustainability front. As you heard from ironworkers, they put solar panels on on their building. So thank you for that, because that's part of our plan. Having a complete portion of the plan, I'm grateful to the professors and students at UIC Department of Urban Planning for the invaluable assistance with our initial climate action plan, which would be an integral part of our comprehensive strategy. Now we're eagerly waiting the availability of the board members. But with or without, we're going to keep moving forward to put a plan in place, because it's what's best for Broadview as we go into the upcoming years. We extend our compassion towards ending homelessness by commemorating the ribbon cutting ceremony at the Broadview Legacy Apartments. Trustee Chalmalave and Trustee Shelby was a part of the ribbon cutting ceremony, so thank you for representing the Board of Trustees. This Housing Forward Supportive Housing Initiative, comprised of 16 units on Roosevelt Road, aims to instill hope in those facing the harsh realities of eviction and homelessness. For those of you who have never encountered such hardships, let's continue to pray that you never do. It's crucial to recognize that these are real individuals with real life stories, some of whom are parents. We warmly welcome all to the Village of Broadview. Let's embrace them with open hearts and lacking of judgment. In Broadview, we strive to embody love and kindness every single day as we serve our community. Last weekend was absolutely fantastic in Broadview, and I'm sitting here looking at TC because he was part of Little League Baseball, and his dad used to coach my daughter on the Little League team, and this was the first time in a very long time that we've had Little League Baseball returning to the Park District. As we celebrated the ribbon cutting ceremony at True Value, the spring cleanup was a success thanks to the support of our residents and local businesses. It was truly a great weekend for our community. It was a feel-good weekend this weekend, and I'm still tired. Stay updated on our social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and now Snapchat. Follow Mayor Katrina Thompson in the Village of Broadview for more updates. As we embark upon the season of misinformation, particularly regarding upcoming local elections in '25, I want to reiterate our commitment to transparency in government. Please take a moment to explore our website for the approved budget, as we highly value your input in shaping our governance. It's essential to combat misinformation, and I assure you that I will actively address any falsehoods. I kindly request that you verify any information you receive by contacting the village directly. We operate with full transparency. There are no secrets here in the Village of Broadview, only tangible results stemming from our dedicated efforts. I'm wishing you a fantastic week, and I thank you for entrusting us with an opportunity to serve you. As we conclude, I will now call for a motion to adjourn, Mr. Clerk.
So moved. I need a second.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Armour, seconded by Trustee Shelby. I'll take a roll call for the adjournment. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Yes.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And we are hereby adjourned at 8:24 p.m. Thank you all for coming. God bless and good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.